All right. Last question for the day for your first YouTube presentation is the election coming up. There's Obama, there's McCain. Who do you see getting in? Who would you like to see getting in? And what would you like to see in the next administration?
Well, I would prefer to see Obama get in. I mean, neither one of them is great insofar as they have some profound misconceptions, the most gross of which is that terrorists can be defeated by fighting them. The war on everything has failed. The war on poverty failed. Poverty is greater now than it's ever been. The war on drugs has failed. I mean, you name it. And the war on terrorism will be just as unsuccessful as the war on poverty and the war on drugs. The way that you solve a problem is you understand it, you understand the motivation of the people involved, you address it. You never solve a problem by fighting against it. You embrace it and you resolve it. You never kill it. Nazis are still alive. World War II didn't end Nazism, it didn't end white supremacists. You don't eliminate things by fighting against them. And neither one of the candidates seems to understand that. Obama is more humanistic. He has more of a holistic perspective, and so it makes him a better candidate and better for the country. Who's going to win? Anybody's guess. I think Obama's ahead in the polls now, but who knows?
But what would be your ideal model of an administration, regardless of who got in?
Well,
what types of people?
Well, obviously, you want to. One is that you put the best people for the job in the job, not political cronies and payoffs. So you have competent people running it. Two, you have people that understand that everyone in the world is connected, and that whatever position people have, that they bring to that position an understanding that nobody can truly and sustainably benefit at anyone else's expense. So it's not saying, we're going to defeat the healthcare companies in favor of better healthcare. It's got to be a win-win solution for everybody. And so who's ever in the administration, if it's going to be a successful administration, has to understand that, has to believe that it's possible, and has to be committed to making that happen. So if you put the best people for the job in the job, as opposed to political payoffs, and you have those people all meet the requirement of understanding that nobody can sustainably benefit at anyone else's expense, you're going to do pretty well. And we need people that will tell the truth. We need people that will respect the American people. We need people that will say to the American people, look, these are the facts of the situation. This is the deficit. These are the circumstances. This is what's going on. This is the truth. And this is how we think is the best way to address it for everybody concerned. And respect people. I mean, there's a lot of bright people among the American public, and be willing to take and honestly listen to suggestions, not have a not invented here attitude. Just say, a good idea is a good idea regardless of where it comes from. And one of the things that they would really benefit from if they made everyone, and IBM made this work, so it's not that far-fetched. IBM, had a poster up in everybody's office that said think, and they built the company. Well, every government office should have a poster up that says, it's amazing what we can accomplish when we're flexible about who gets the credit.
And the last topic, and we'll wrap it up, is the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan. What do you see as solutions or ideas about that area?
We go right to the people and we say, look, is killing one another really what you want to do or not? John Wooden won like tons of championships at UCLA focusing on the fundamentals. Didn't get fancy, nothing else. Well, we need the same thing in foreign policy. We need to go to these people and say, look, do you really want to continue to kill each other? Is this really what you want to have going forward as your way of life? And let that be the basis for the discussion. And, and say, look, I mean, it's up to you. You guys can be the Hatfields and McCoys for generations to come, or you can acknowledge that you've been hurt and that your feelings are hurt and that you've had relatives killed and that you're spiritually and emotionally wounded. Fess up to that and move on. And that's the kind of leadership that's going to resolve all kinds of conflicts, not just the Middle East, but Africa, all kinds of conflicts. Is to say, look, you know what, and people say that it's too idealistic and it's not realistic, but the truth is that honesty has a power that's pervasive. And the truth is that people really don't want to spend their lives shooting at other people and being shot at. That really isn't what people want. And if you give them a chance to honestly address that question, they will address it.
And do you think our presence there will help, hinder? Do we need to be there? Should we be there? Could it be part of the solution, or do we just remove ourselves?
Well, we need to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to flat get out. We need to say, look, we're leaving. We're taking all of our weapons with us, so they won't be around for you to use to kill one another with. And we'll do everything in our power to help you guys reconcile your differences. But you are adults, and it's up to you whether or not you're going to reconcile your differences or not. And we're more than happy to play a role of facilitator and do all we can, but at the end of the day, it's how much do you want to reconcile your differences? Either you do or you don't. You know what? And if you don't, and you want to kill each other and spend the rest of your life doing that, man has free will, and if that's what you want to do with your free will, knock yourself out.
So do you think maybe because there were fighting factions there and we came in, and I have my opinions, as do you, on whether we should have ever got involved, but we basically have destroyed their infrastructure. So is it, let's build this together as a country together and get the US of A out? I mean, you've got a destroyed infrastructure that, with natural resources that abound, is it working together as family to rebuild the country that they love?
Well, first thing is to decide whether or not they really love their country more than they love fighting each other. Right now, their behavior would indicate, given the fact that they've sabotaged numerous reconstruction efforts, that they love fighting one another more than they love their country. So what I would say is that, again, I think we should let John Wooden be our model. If you could propose, we'll participate in any win-win solution in which all the interested parties are on board. Otherwise, we won't participate. And we need to hold to those kinds of basic tenets that won UCLA basketball championship after basketball championship. If it's win-win, we're involved. If it's not, we're not.
All right, well, that's enough for our first broadcast. Tell everyone, aside from your videos, you also write a blog commentary, A Unity of Life. Why don't you give us that information, website, and where people can go back on other articles you've written over the last 2-3 years?
It's at the Ventura County Star. Just go to venturacountystar.com and click on blogs for Camarillo, California, and you should be able to find me. And also, I have an email list that I send out, and so if you want to be on that email list, my email is Scott, SCOTT, at freedmanfinancial.com, FRIEDMAN, financial.com, and in the subject line, write add to mailing list, and I'll put you on the email list.
Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks.